video. Ladies and gentlemen, now delivering the closing address on behalf of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, please welcome the Minister of Women, Family and Community Development, Yang Berhormat, Dato Seri Nancy Shukri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And a very, very good morning. Yang Berhormat Puan Hanayo, Minister of Youth and Sports. Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Muhammad Yusof, Chairman of the Yayasan Hasanah. Yang Berbahagia Dato Amirul Faisal, Managing Director of Hasanah National. Yang Berbahagia Dato Shahira Ahmad Bazari, Managing Director of Yayasan Hasanah. Madam Naina Subarwal Batra, CEO of AVPN. Members of Yayasan Hasanah Board of Trustees and the AVPN Board of Directors, distinguished speakers, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the Honorable Prime Minister conveys his sincere regards to all and regrets not being able to attend this forum. Please allow me to read on his behalf the keynote address he has prepared earlier. But before that, on a personal note, I'd like to congratulate Yayasan Hasanah for being able to gather so many people here this morning. I hope I'm not nervous, like what Tan Sri said. Well, Salam Malaysia Madani, and thank you for inviting me to deliver this keynote address. I hope this forum will provide the opportunity to share and celebrate experiences, as well as cultivate future collaborations, new ideas, and innovate solutions towards an equitable and sustainable future for all. While the fundamental requirements of democracy are associated with freedom and the rule of law, no less important is the need for equality, not just in terms of equal treatment before the law, but extending to equitable distribution of wealth. For democracies to flourish, it is imperative to have social and economic justice so as to bring about a fair and equitable society, one where there is fairness and opportunity for all, regardless of background, going hand in hand with fair distribution of wealth and resources. Hence, I was quite heartened to note that the Hasanah Forum places rights and justice-based giving not only as part of their larger narrative and advocacy, but through real-life action in how they give and how they monitor and drive accountability. Building a more just and equitable world requires collective efforts from individuals, communities, government, and organizations. It requires implementing policies and initiatives that challenge systemic barriers and biases that perpetuate injustice. Further, there must be political will, inasmuch as politics and governance play a significant role in shaping policies, laws, and institutions that can either perpetuate or address social injustices. This is why this administration is committed to practicing good governance, transparency, integrity, and accountability, which is in full consonance with Malaysia Madani. As a guiding philosophy of nationhood, Malaysia Madani will take us on a continuous journey to achieve a just, equitable, and humane society in pursuing the nation's development holistically and putting the needs of the rakyat first. It is important that philanthropy moves beyond charity and becomes a key mechanism that supports social justice by addressing the root causes. The embodiment of the Malaysia Madani concept seeks to promote a sense of responsibility among citizens towards the nation's development and encourages active participation and engagement in civic societies. This, in turn, fosters value-based growth and people-centered mechanisms so that no one is left behind in building national and regional resilience as well as sustainable policies. An economy that truly serves humanity is one that embraces social justice, protects the environment, and nurtures the well-being of the people. It is an economy that values people over profits and seeks to create a world where dignity, fairness, and sustainability are the guiding principles. Malaysia Madani encompasses the idea of a just and inclusive society where all citizens are treated fairly and have equal opportunities regardless of their ethnic, religious, or social background. While the 6 key pillars of Malaysia Madani also encapsulate the Sustainable Development Goals, of which some progress has been achieved, the COVID-19 pandemic has unfortunately regressed some of the advances made. The pandemic has disrupted global efforts for poverty eradication, highlighting the inequalities of health accessibility among countries and regions. Nonetheless, it also provided us an opportunity to build back our resilience by putting forth a humanity-based development. In this regard, ensuring the people's well-being is of paramount importance through a new set of philanthropic and impact economy lenses. With this in mind, it is envisioned that this forum, aptly themed as Fostering Justice-Based Philanthropy, Shifting the Narrative to Action, will serve as a platform to realize the spirit of Madani, not only for Malaysia, but for a stronger regional partnership that will enrich mutual investments and cooperation. The challenges of the 21st century are marked by significant changes that have rendered some of the traditional structures and systems less adaptable and ineffective. Consequently, we need governance structures that are adaptable and flexible that would ensure fairness and justice. The global economic landscape has shifted, not only on account of the COVID-19 pandemic, but also with the rise of digital economies, the fourth industrial revolution, artificial intelligence, and knowledge-based industries. In addition to these are the geopolitical convulsions caused by the emerging conflicts and tensions across the globe, while globalization has also made us all the more interlinked and interdependent. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot deny that there is growing demand for greater transparency, accountability, and accessibility for participatory governance, where citizens are increasingly seeking inclusive government structures that allow for meaningful engagement to address issues such as corruption, political reform, and human rights. We are also facing the urgent need to address climate change and other environmental issues that require innovative and transformative approaches. Traditional structures and policies often struggle to keep pace with the speed and scale of action required to mitigate climate change, protect biodiversity, and transition to sustainable development. And while tackling global issues, I remain cognizant of being invested in our next generation. It is in that spirit that the government remains most concerned about the globally declining mental health conditions of our youth, and Malaysia, regretfully, is no different. Addressing mental well-being is ever more pressing, with latest statistics suggesting our youth has indicated higher levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. Based on the National Health and Morbidity Survey, or NHMS 2022, suicidal thoughts among adolescents have been growing for the past decade. In 2017, it was 10%, and this has risen to 13% in 2022. Depression has also been increasing, with latest numbers indicating 1 in 4 adolescents are depressed. I imagine the numbers must be rising as well in other countries. It is especially crucial for our youth to have access to the right resources and to safe avenues for treatment, as it is our young women and young men who are the future of Malaysia and of all the countries represented here today. As such, allow me to take this opportunity to offer my heartiest congratulations to Yayasan Hasanah and to the Asian Venture Philanthropy Network for taking the important stride of tackling mental well-being amongst our youth in Asia today. Shortly, YB Hana Yo will be announcing the establishment of the Asian Youth Mental Wellbeing Philanthropic Pooled Fund. The purpose of this fund is to increase the accessibility of mental health services across Malaysia and across the region by encouraging and mobilizing more capital alongside facilitating conversations among donors. Ladies and gentlemen, we are stronger when we move together. The same can be said for a nation to continue developing, which requires the concerted effort of all stakeholders in creating sustainable and meaningful impact. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Yayasan Hasanah for becoming Malaysia's leading independent grant-making foundation and have been pivotal in bridging the gap between civil societies, local communities, and corporations, a true model of success of public-private philanthropic partnerships. I think they deserve a big round of applause for that. Thank you. Well, for 2023, I'm pleased to announce another matching grant partnership with Yayasan Hasanah of Ringgit Malaysia 50 million for the implementation of Hasanah Special Grant 4. There's a big responsibility for me to read this keynote address. 50 million ringgit. Well, this partnership has enabled the largest funding to civil society and social enterprises from the government, and I am appreciative for the support and leadership of Yayasan Hasanah and Khazanah Nasional. Hasanah Special Grants also enabled significant growth in income generation amongst vulnerable communities. We have seen the emergence of success stories of local grassroots startups and social and impact businesses through collaborative efforts contributing to increasing Malaysia's economic competitiveness and building national resilience while delivering socio-economic benefits and impacts for the people. Khazanah Nasional has launched the Future Malaysia program, an initiative under its Dana Impact mandate, which supports the local startup ecosystem of entrepreneurs, startups, venture capital, and corporate venture programs through domestic and international collaborations. Dana Impact is a 6 billion ringgit commitment over 5 years and is a key pillar under Khazanah's Advancing Malaysia strategy, seeking to invest across 6 themes based on issues and challenges facing the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope the new information shared and learned these past few days will accelerate the process of transforming ideas into actions in creating a just, equitable, and inclusive society for our nation and the region. Thank you. That's all from the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Thank you to Yang Berhormat Nancy Shukri and distinguished guests. We invite you all to return to your seats as we proceed to the next agenda of the day.
Terima kasih diucapkan.